root of the problem. Why have you got to that point? You know? And like for me, going back to what I was saying with women. So like, I'm girl crazy. I'm the first to admit that. If you read my journals, I talk about girls all the time. 24/7. Way more than what I should. Like, could you imagine my life if I didn't have that struggle? How focused I would be on Jesus and running my race, just focusing on him and the prize and what he has for me. You know what I'm saying? But it's the struggle that makes you. You know, having that struggle proves that you have faith. If you're willing to forsake that and trust God in the midst of that and wait on him. It says those who wait on the Lord, they shall find renewed strength. They should be like wings on wings of an eagle, soaring and flying. Do you know eagles, like, one thing, the eagles are the most fascinating bird ever. Because first of all, anytime there's a storm, every other bird hides in shelter because they can't fly in. You know what eagles do? They soar above the storm. Soar above it, and they just fly. They soar. And then on top of that, every single bird got to flap their wings continually, like this. You know what an eagle does? They only got to flap it twice, and then they soar. So, like, in life, man, you're going to be going through obstacles. And you're going to be, you're going to get anxious. You're like, man, I can't do it. Ooh, man, I'm worried. Man, I don't know if I can do this. But God's on your side. He said you'll be like eagles. You'll find renewed strength. So you're only going to worry a little bit, and you're going to soar. Because he's going to take care of you. So, man, like, that's what this passage is talking about, man. Like, I was talking to my dad again in the car, just with Rebecca and that whole family. Like, Isaac told, this is Genesis 28, verse 1. It says, so Isaac called for Jacob and blessed him. Then he commanded him, do not marry a Canaanite woman. Guess what verse 8 says? Esau then realized how displeasing the Canaanite women were to his father Isaac. In a verse before that, let me go to verse 46 of Genesis 27. So before this happened, right? Then Rebekah said to Isaac, I'm disgusted with living because of these Hittite women. If Jacob takes a wife from among the women of this land, from the Hittite women like these, my life will not be worth living. So, like, in saying all that, I can't find the verse for some reason. It's somewhere on my paper, but who cares? So, like, Esau married two women that were Canaanite, that were Hittites, that were exactly what Isaac said don't do. But you know what's funny? Isaac didn't mention that until Jacob got the blessing. He didn't say that to Esau. If you read back, just with the history line or whatever, Abraham told Isaac, no, you're not going to marry outside of your race. You're not going to marry outside of all the children of God. First of all, do not be unequally yoked. Remember that scripture verse, right? Yeah. He said, no, you're not going to marry those type of women. You're going to marry a godly woman. You're going to marry a woman that God has set for you. And our servant's going to pick them out for you. So that's what Abraham did with Isaac. But Isaac didn't do that with Jacob and Esau, his own children. So, train up a child in the way that he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it, right? So that whole dysfunction of the family, like one thing I've seen is communication. Nobody communicated with one another. I'm pretty sure Jacob communicated with Rebekah. I'm pretty sure Esau communicated with Isaac. But I don't think, flipping it around, that, I don't think they communicated with each other.
I needed to be something clarified.
Okay.
When it goes back to the mama, she said, do not punish Jacob for my doing. She said, curse me instead of my son. What do you think about that?
Well, I was talking to my dad about that too. So everybody paid a price with doing everything that they did with the family dysfunction. Everybody. Man, I just told you Esau's story. Esau, the saddest story in the Bible. I wish I could talk more about it. Like, I love the story of Esau. Because trading away God's lifelong promise for your life for something temporary.
Yes.
Man, let me say these things for you. Your desires can keep you from your destiny. Right. Your desires can keep you from God's best for your life. You cannot do what you want and then have what God wants. And then you don't. Oh, I already said all that. Okay, so and now it yells louder, but later lasts longer. And don't trade what you want most for what you feel is good right now. Right? And then last one, instant gratification will keep you from ultimate satisfaction. That's Esau's story. You had everything. You had the birthright and you had the blessing. So it's just two of y'all. Probably more siblings. I don't know. So he should have got 2/3. Jacob should have got 1/3. But why would God want to bless Jacob over Esau? Because Esau cared more for temporary things than he did
That's what I
spiritual things, obviously. You know, and that's his whole story. Why would you marry two Canaanite women if your father didn't do that? You know, and then Abraham, I know he had to have known Abraham, had to. You know, even if he didn't, hypothetically speaking. Like, Abraham told Isaac not to do that. So, like, why aren't you listening to your parents? You know? And so, like, there's so much with that story. But then Jacob, oh my gosh, man. Jacob was a trickster. He tricked, you know, Isaac. He got it worse. Laban tricked him into working for him for 14 years. Then, on top of that, his children deceived him into thinking Joseph was dead. So the two most important things ever to happen in his life, his wife and his children, he got tricked. Man, I know that hurt. Then, don't get me started on Rebecca. She couldn't even see Jacob for the rest of her life. She died without seeing him again because she set that up. What were you going to say, Brother?
But you know, a lot of times we can see in the family there was problems from the get-go. And a lot of time in our family, we can't seem like we can't see the problem. But you know, but you should be able to see the problem if you go by the scripture, you know, because they tell you how to live.
Right.
Now, if I'm taking this child and putting them over that child and that child, you know we're going to have problems. The family going on, and then from where I started from, on down through life, these kids is going to have problems.
Yeah.
Until, it's hard to, you know, they said once the snowball is rolling down the mountains, it's hard to stop it. But there is a stopping point that you can get.
Now you know why we so jacked up in our family.
Yes.
You know why your family is jacked up.
Yes, you know.
Because you wanted to do what you wanted to do. And you started thinking the way you wanted stuff done and how you want it done. I hope you like your t-shirt because it goes back to Adam and Eve.
It sure do. I was gonna say.
Who was talking?
The snake was talking to
The
her.
devil.
Talking to who?
Eve.
But Adam was there.
He could have
But
woke up.
both of them. And it's like, she started.
Yes.
She started. But your silence,
You let it go
You
on.
let it go on.
now who got punished?
All
of them.
Yes.
Every last one of them. And we had taught, you will reap what you sow. So you might as well submit to God.
Yes.
Do his word, do his way, and it will go well with you. But when you start trying to calculate God, when you start trying to calculate and set up your own blessing, you are headed for disaster. And it goes back again to God. Don't you want to be like God? And that's it, right there, the pride of life. And pride cometh before the fall. And it leads to dysfunction. It leads to deception. It leads to everything you see and play out in this genealogy. Even today. You see it in our DNA. That's why over and over again, I'm telling you, everybody in that Bible is black.
Hard-headed.
Huh?
Hard-headed, won't listen.
To understand the Bible, just look at yourself. And then you'll see them black folk. Remember the black conversation we had with our friends, with our family. Now listen to the scripture and the conversations going on. That's your auntie. That's your mom. That's your granny. That's your uncle. You hearing them play out. That's your brother. Right? It's us. And we are blocking our own blessing. We are the most hard-headed folk on
While
this
you're
planet.
standing there, can I just ask a simple question? Most of the time it looked like, when I was reading it, they were talking about most of the women. They said they were fair-looking women to look upon. Do you think having a good-looking woman is a problem?
Obviously it is. Because that's why Adam was quiet.
It's,
And you can't see them all. And the men is sitting back, not saying anything like the pastor said. Not saying anything. What more effect can we have except the snowball rolling down the hill? When can we put a stop to it?
Today.
Wayne?
Question,
Okay.
based on, mainly on Sister Pearl's comment, or how do you tell the truth?
Tell the
How
truth.
do you tell the truth?
By the word. What the word says.
It said tell the truth.
What the word says. Tell the truth.
Okay,
But 9 times out of 10, we won't tell
No,
the
no.
whole truth.
Some folks just don't believe the
If you
truth.
go, if
Some
you
people
go,
just don't really believe the truth.
if
That's
you go,
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so it's still gonna have that.
Yeah, what you gonna say?
if you go and really tell the truth on what's really happening, you'll get some folks mad. You're gonna have some enemies against. Remember, Jesus tried to tell the truth.
Yeah.
You see, the enemy he picked up just by telling the truth.
Yeah.
Well, why don't say it like that? That's too hard. They don't want it.
I was
I
talking
know,
to.
it's no need enough fooling ourselves, Sister Pearl. Thinking that you tell the truth.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give you the truth.
If
If
you
this is
don't
one lie,
accept
then you're in
it.
trouble.
Yeah.
Look,
If you
feelings
don't
get
want
hurt,
it,
well,
don't
it's
ask
truth, and feelings just be hurt.
There's a scripture that says those that are friends to the world, meaning that we water down and we sugarcoat and we don't tell the truth, are enemies to God.
Sure is.
All right, I'm gonna say this. So like, I got 9 minutes left. So I gotta hurry up and bring this home. There's 2 points I want to bring out. It's gonna change your life. So if I don't say it, it's not gonna change your life. So anyway, but no. Going back to that though, I was talking to the kids about that. Silence speaks volumes. It really do. Getting no message is a message. But sometimes you got to speak up. There's a time and a place for everything, like the book of Ecclesiastes says. There's a time to speak. There's a time to shut up. There's a time to stand up. There's a time to sit down. There's a time for peace. There's a time for war.
Yeah.
In Psalms 120, verse 7 or verse 8, one of those two, David said, I speak for peace. So anytime I open my mouth, it's for peace. But they take it as war. See, sometimes when you speak the truth, people you just got people with no common sense. Common sense is like deodorant. Not everybody puts it on. So man, some people, they get so mad and riled up when you speak the truth. Why? Because they can't accept the truth. They don't live in spirit and truth. They just want to be comforted in the sin. They're idiots. Let's be real. Jesus dealt with the same thing. Same thing. If God says something and they're going to curse God, what are they going to do to you? So it's inevitable sometimes. We'll get back to that some other time. All right, but I want to talk about this scripture verse. Genesis 27, verse 36. Esau said, "Is he not rightly named Jacob? For he cheated me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing." Then he said, "Have you not reserved a blessing for me, Daddy? Have you not?" Heck no. Esau was not deceived twice. He sold his birthright for a bowl of soup. First of all, you're the older brother. Talking about standing up for yourself as a man. You're the older brother. He hunts. Do you not think at his weakest he could take out Jacob, freaking the person who stays inside with mama all the time? Man, my older brother would tear me up. Come on now. The blame shifting game. I want to talk about the blame. Putting blames on other people. It's never my fault. It's always someone else's fault. It's the government's fault. My wife's fault. Black people. Because I'm black. That's why I act like the way I act. No, don't blame others for your choices and things that you do. Take responsibility for your own actions. Man, excuses are a time thief. Have a goal, accept responsibility, and take action. Esau did not do that. That's exactly why you can't have the birthright or the blessing. Because you don't take responsibility and ownership to what you do. I think later on in Jacob's life, I think it's said in the Bible. I didn't read it. But I read it before. I just didn't read it, for this lesson. But Jacob took ownership. That's one thing he did do. He realized all his sins and the mistakes he made through life. And Esau did later on too. So let's be real. But why don't you do it right now? With everything you're going through. If you don't take responsibility for your actions, how can God forgive you? you ain't living in truth. So just like we talking about foolish people who get mad, you know, when you speak truth to them, they missing their blessing. God can't forgive them. God can't intervene for them in their lives because why? They're not willing to admit that they need God's help. All right. What are you doing now? How are you living for righteousness now? How are you doing things now that will make your future self say thank you down the road? Or are you giving yourself a headache down the road for what you're doing right now? I think that's the biggest thing for the lesson right now. There's a difference between forgiveness and consequences. So God's great, some people think God's greatest good for their life is they keep on sinning, they keep on making mistakes, and then they ask God for forgiveness. That's all they want for life. But there's consequences for sin. And sin, oh man, I'm killing it right now. Where's that? Sin, it takes you where you don't want to go. It keeps you longer than you want to stay. It costs you more than you want to pay. Boy, come on, man. Every single person in the Bible, man, we can talk about this all day. All day, man. Man, most of the people doubted God at some point when they should have just trusted him, especially after everything that he did for them. So what's the point of doubting? What's the point of not being faithful? Well, he got so much evidence right here in this lesson and with everything we study. You know, why we do what we do. Okay, Ms. Merlin.
Can, my book asked the question, can we parents stop this? Do we know that we are doing harm to our children by letting the situation go on as it is and not own it up to it?
Don said it out loud. Madison was his favorite. And I talked to him about that. I said, that is not right. I said, you got other grandkids. So why would you say that? So he knew it was wrong and said it anyway. And kept on saying it. Kept on saying it.
But you know, if you don't study the word, you ain't gonna really know right from wrong.